Hello, everyone. As you may have noticed, there is no class today. Um, Sorry about that. I went to school in the morning, but when I arrived, I realized that I'm a little bit sick, and instead of having a class, um, possibly infecting other people, it's better to just, do something else, record a video for you guys. So, yeah, I'm sorry about that there is no class today, but I hope this will be something that you can find useful anyway. So, word order, ordföljd. It's actually called something else if you want to be really formal, if you want to be, and it's called syntax. And it's the structure of a sentence. Where do you put the words? In English is an SVO language, and that means it is a subject verb object language. And that doesn't mean that that is the only word order. Just like in Swedish, you have like reversed word orders, you have bisatser, subclauses, but in a main clause, huvudsats, usually it's subject, verb, object. In this case, you have I love weekends. Weekends would be the object, not the time. And we'll talk more about this later. But I love weekends, subject, verb, object. You learn English, subject, verb, object. She rides a bike. Paul is the subject here. Paul kicks, subject, verb. And Paul kicks. He kicks what? The ball. And just like in Swedish, you can ask yourself questions if you're unsure where to put the word. So like okay, who is it about? Who is doing something? That would be the subject. What is the subject doing? That would be the verb. And what is affected by the verb? Vem blir påverkad av verbet? That would be weekends. They are affected that you love them. I want candy. He drinks water. They play football. Subject, verb, object. Again, it's very similar to Swedish. When you add the other letters of a main clause, which is subject, verb, object, manner, place, and time. Subject again, who is doing something? That would be Paul. And what is Paul doing? He kicked the ball, past tense. He kicked the ball. The ball is the object because it is affected by the kick. But then there is manner, place, and time. Manner is how. It answers the question how. Manner means in what way. In what manner, in what way? Well, he kicked it hard. And then there is place and time. And just like in Swedish, place and time they come at the end of the sentence, and place always comes before time. But you could reverse it. Of course, you could have time first. Like on last Sunday, Paul kicked the ball hard on the football field. Reversed word order. But in Swedish, you need to change the verb and the subject. It tisdags sparkade på bollen. In English, you don't need to do that. The verb stays in place and the subject as well. Time is the only thing that changes. So last Saturday, Paul kicked the ball hard on the football field. Place and time, usually they have prepositions. This is how you separate them from, for example, weekends. Oh, weekends. What is a weekend? It's a time, right? Well, yes, the weekend is a time, but place and time, when they are in a sentence, they usually have preposition. Preposition means in time and space. Sorry. So you wouldn't say Paul kicked the ball hard football field. No, on the football field. And last Saturday, you couldn't say Paul kicked the ball hard on the football field Saturday. last Saturday. Preposition. So yes, you need prepositions for time and place. So if you see something that looks like time and place, but they don't have prepositions, they're probably not time and space. They are an object, for example. So you can, in this way, I want you to write your own SVOMPT, swamped for short, swamped. Remember that? Swamped, that's main clause in English. I want you to write your own swamped sentence. You can write it on a piece of paper, or you can just think of it as we continue, but try to use all of the letters in swamp. Normally you don't need this, like, you could use SV, subject verb, I read. That's it. That's a complete sentence. But then you expand upon it. I read. What do you read? I read books. How do you read it? I read books. In what manner? I read books often. I read books often in the library. But then time and often, they're kind of similar, so we might change it. So I play football actively on the football field in the weekend. This is my example sentence right here. She reads books quietly in the library every evening. Subject, she reads. Verb, what does she read? She reads books. And how does she read them? Quietly, because she is in the library. Notice the preposition. And you finish with time. Preposition, every. And you can, try to write your own. Here are, I know you can do this. It's just a simple exercise, but school, exercise, kitchen. Let's make up some sentences here using all of the swamped. I study English. I study English quickly at home after school. So I go to school and I study. When I come home, I continue to study, but I do it quickly because I don't want to spend, I do it in a rush because I have other things to do. Exercise. I practice, let's say, because yoga. Do you exercise yoga? Träna yoga? I think you practice yoga. I practice yoga. Subject, verb, object. I practice yoga calmly. So in a relaxing way. I practice yoga in a calm, relaxing way at the gym in the morning. At the gym in the morning. Kitchen. I cook chicken. I cook chicken. And manner is actually very open. And so as long as you describe in what way you are doing it, it's still manner. It doesn't have to be an adverb like this. I could say, I cook chicken. No, pasta. I cook pasta like an Italian. I cook pasta like an Italian in the kitchen at 9 o'clock. So you could, sometimes you use all of the swamp letters, sometimes not. You could say she reads in the library every evening, SVPT. You could say she reads books every evening. You don't need a P or the M. So just like in Swedish. Swedish and English might be difficult, and sometimes we mix them. But we want to avoid direct translations because English and Swedish, they are not the same language. And if you just translate the words, but you use Swedish grammar, you will end up with something called Swinglish. And Swinglish is what I just described. It's, Swedish grammar, English words. Translate word for word will not work most of the time. Sometimes it will, especially in short sentences. But languages are not just code that you can translate word for word. They have like their own mannerisms. They have, different meanings of words. Jag kan inte komma idag eftersom det regnar. Okay, this is actually very translatable. Jag kan inte, I cannot, come idag, today, eftersom, because det regnar, it is raining. It's pretty similar. But let's look at this one. They often used to come, they often used to come visit back in the day. And this is not, normal word order, but it's something you can say. They often used to come visit back in the day. De ofta brukade att komma besöka tillbaka i dagen. Yeah, doesn't work. De brukade ofta komma på besök förr. It's a better translation. So really try to avoid translation word for word. The word order is different in English and Swedish. They're both SVO languages, but languages are more complicated than just main clauses. How can you avoid translating English and Swedish, word for word? Read English, listen to English, watch English movies, and it will come naturally. And mixing languages, again, it is natural. It is a part of learning. You did that with your native tongue in Swedish, and you will do it with English and Swedish, or your native tongue. It is natural. But the more we practice, the easier it will become. Objects. There is only one real error that I see with objects, and it is that we mix indirect objects with direct objects. I kick the ball. This is a direct object. The direct object is always affected by the verb. I kick the ball. What is affected by the kick? The ball. I kick the ball to you. This is a direct object and an indirect object. Indirekt objekt och direkt objekt. I kick the ball. The ball is affected by the kick, so that is automatically the direct object. And then I kick it to you. So you are the indirect object. You're the second object. And this is called the indirect object because it receives something. It's almost always the case, like I give the letter to you. I send a message to you. The message is the direct object and you will be the indirect object. If you get something, if you receive something, you are the indirect object. No problem, right? I gave a gift to you. I gave, what did you give? A gift. That's the direct object. To you, you are the indirect object. However, you could change these around. I gave you a gift. But here you need to think about it. Okay, I gave, what did you give? You gave a gift. The gift is still the direct object, even though you comes first. So it's not about where you place the words, it's about the role, the meaning of the words. And to you should always come to the indirect object if the indirect object is number 2. This sounds like a lot, but it's actually only one thing you need to remember, only one rule. I gave to you a gift is always wrong. I gave a gift to you is wrong, is correct. If you want the indirect object first, you need to say, I gave you a gift. No to. I gave a gift to you. I gave you a gift. Correct. Anything else is wrong. Adverbs of frequency can be more difficult than other adverbs. So they are not time. Adverbs of frequency, frekvens, is how often does something occur. It is not time. Like always is not a time. On Saturday is a time. Right now is a time. 5 o'clock is a time. But like never is not a time. It's a frequency. So always, never, seldom, sometimes, usually, often, they are not time. And on this table, yeah, I mean it's not 100% correct, but like because you could argue that occasionally might not be 30%, it might be 20%, but it doesn't matter. Always means that it always happens. Sometimes means 50-50 or something like that, and never is 0%. And then there are a lot of different words. Usually, normally, you can say common, often, sometimes, on occasion, occasionally, seldom, almost never, hardly ever. There are a lot of them. And these are usually placed before the verb in a normal SVO sentence. So they are not, they are manner, but they are placed before the verb in a normal subject verb object sentence. It's called an exception to the rule. And it means that, the rules apply, but here it is a little bit different. I always forget my toothbrush at home. Subject, and then adverb of frequency, and then the verb before the verb. Unless the verb is to be, then it doesn't apply. I will show you this later. Adverbs of frequency are placed after the helping verb in a negative sentence. So if the sentence is negative, that is, it has not, then it comes after the helping verb. So I forget, then there is only one verb. But I do forget. I do not forget. Do not would be the helping verb, and I have not would also be a helping verb. But I do not, and then adverb of frequency, and then the main verb. I do not usually forget my toothbrush at home. So you do not say, I usually do not forget my toothbrush at home, or I do not forget usually my toothbrush at home. But if we're being honest, a lot of the time, adverbs of frequency, you can be liberal with them. It's not 100%, that you have to use in this manner all the time. You will see sentences like this. Usually, I don't forget my toothbrush. Just place a comma and you can put it first. It's kind of reversed word order. I usually do not forget my toothbrush, but in that kind of sentence, you can put it before the helping verb. So there are exceptions to the rules. You can be a little bit liberal with adverbs of frequency. There are clear rules, but people use them in different ways, and it's okay. Negative sentences. Yeah, you add a not, and then it's negative. Does it change anything? Sometimes. I do not want candy. There is no candy here. So you wouldn't say there is not candy. There is no candy. I could not find any candy. Jag kunde inte hitta något godis. Any is always negative or in questions. Some is just positive. I have something in my pocket. I have some tea. While any is negative, I don't have any tea. I don't have anything in my pocket. Or a question, do you have anything for me? Do you want any coffee? You could say, do you want some coffee? But then it's a positive question. But yeah, we'll talk more about pronouns like these in a different class. Yep. The connector to and that, I think we talked about this earlier. But just in case you missed that class, I'll just repeat a little. She asked me to tell the truth. She asked me to tell the truth. They always tell me to stay late. He told me that it was true. We know that we are a little late. A lot of the time, to and that can have basically the same meaning. And it's very easy that you say at instead. She asked me at, tell the truth. He told me at, it was true. But remember, to and that, they are the connectors, not the Swedish at. It's easy to make mistakes when you're talking and you're used to at being the only connector in Swedish, but in English, you have to use English connectors. To tell, to stay late. That it was true, that we are a little late. The difference between to and that is to is used for verbs. She asked me to tell the truth. Hon bad mig att berätta sanningen. They always tell me to stay late. De säger alltid till mig att stanna sent. Verbs. That, han sa till mig att det var sant. It is a pronoun, not a verb. We always know that we know that we are a little late. Vi vet att vi är lite sena. We, pronoun, not a verb. I know. Would you use to or that here? I know that you believe me. That is used for non-verbs, and it means it is a connector, like at in Swedish. Jag vet att du tror på mig. I know that you believe me. It doesn't seem to work because work is a verb, then you use to. Just like in Swedish, there is reverse word order in English. Today, I want to go running. I want to go running today. And this is simpler than Swedish grammar because in Swedish grammar you have to change the order of the verb and the subject. Idag vill jag springa. Today, want I go running? No. In English, it's the same. Today, I want to go running. Time is first. Here we place the object first. This knife was given to me by my grandfather. This knife was given to me. What was given? The knife. The knife is an object. At the park, we met our friends. Place first, at the park. And remember that you need the preposition as well. Today doesn't really need a preposition, but today, it is like an inbuilt preposition. E-dog, like, e-dog. You do not need a subject and a verb to switch places like in Swedish. And I think I've explained that, so I won't say anything else. I think you all know this. Questions? What do you think about it? Vad tycker du om det? Same as in Swedish. When is the football game? Very, very seldom I hear students say run you instead of do you run. And this is mostly when speaking, and it is mostly because, it's a sloppy error, slarvfel. It's not really something that, it's a grammatical error. It's just something that you might forget. And remember, in questions, you could ask an informal question like, you want tea? You study English? You can hear in my voice that it is a question. But formally, you need some kind of helping verb to ask a question. Did Paul pass the test yesterday? Could you help me find the shopping mall? Do you like chocolate? Yeah. A sentence can be affirmative or positive. It can also be a negation, that is a negative, or it can be a question. He plays football. This is affirmative. Like it's a positive, you add information. Does he play football? This is a question. You need a question verb, helping verb. And a negation is the addition of not and a helping verb before them. They work on the important project is what? It is affirmative. You hired a new sales assistant. Affirmative. Juan is tired today. I feel bored. These are all affirmative. If you wanted to change them, they work on the important project. How would this be in a question? Yes, you add helping verb. So do they work on the important project? You hired a new sales assistant. How would that be in a negative sentence? Well, it's past tense, hired. So you did not hire a new sales assistant would be the negation of this affirmative sentence. Juan is tired today. As a question, you need a helping verb. Is Juan tired today? The helping verb is just the to be verb, is, moved to the front. Is Juan tired today? I feel bored. As a negation, I do not feel bored. I don't feel bored. Here are some exercises that I will do with you. But the thing is that you can't really answer them. So I will do some of them, I think, just to show you. Or you know what? I will actually post, I will post the links so you can do it yourself. But I will take some of them myself. I will do these two, and then I will send you these links so you can do them yourself. He listens to the radio. Okay, rewrite the complete sentence using the adverb. This will be this in its usual position. Okay. What do you do with adverbs of frequency? They are not time. He listens to the radio often would be wrong, right? He listens to the radio, subject, verb, object, time, often. But often is not time. It doesn't have a preposition, and it is a frequency. It's how often you do something. It's not time. And it comes before the verb, doesn't it? He often listens to the radio. They read a book sometimes. You could say, could you do this? Sometimes they read a book. Yes, you could, but it's not the usual place you put it. They sometimes read a book. They sometimes read a book. Pete gets angry never. How would that be? Pete, subject. Is it gets? Gets angry. Gets is the verb. Gets never angry. No, it has to come before the verb, right? Pete never gets angry. Yes, correct. Great. Usually, what do we do here? This is a to be verb. What's the rules there? Tom, it comes before the verb. Tom usually is very friendly. No, this doesn't seem right. Tom usually is very friendly. When we have a to be verb, the adverb comes after it, doesn't it? Tom is usually very friendly. This sounds correct, I think. I take sugar in my coffee sometimes. Sometimes I take sugar in my coffee. I take sugar in my coffee. It comes before the verb. I sometimes take sugar in my coffee. Yes. I will put all the links actually in the forum, and you can do them yourselves. But adverbs of frequency are actually pretty difficult because they don't follow the normal manner, which should come after the object. So this is worth looking at. And this website, English Hilfen .de, or don't worry, it's not German, it's in English. You can actually you can see examples, and you can actually read about them too. So this is a good website. And let's look at this one too. Can you explain this? Me, to me? Well, to me, right? Can you explain this? Verb. Oh, this is a question, right? Verb, subject, verb. This is a helping verb. What is this? Can you explain this? It is an object, isn't it? You explain this. This is affected by the explanation. So this is the object, and to me would be the indirect object. Please send an invite to him or him. Please send an invite. This starts with please, so it is an imperative. Send, verb, and then comes the object. It's a direct object, the invite. You send an invite, and you send it to me. But no, because to him should be at the end of the sentence. If him, the indirect object is before the direct object, you don't need the to. And again, these rules, they sound complicated, but it's very simple. Don't say, please send to him an invite. Please send him an invite. Ge mig bollen. Ge till mig bollen. You can hear the difference, right? Same in English. I told the truth. I told to her the truth. No, I told her the truth. I told the truth to her. I told her the truth. Great. Let's check out this one too. She is from Glasgow. Remember that you need capital letter at the start of the sentence. She is from Glasgow, and it should be a question, right? Is she from Glasgow? Glasgow. Oh, it's spelled, yeah, it's spelled with a G. Is she from Glasgow? And the question mark is included. Are we in a team? Does he go to your school? I have your phone. Do they repair cars? They do repair. Do they repair cars? They do repair cars. You don't need the do. They repair cars. Do they repair cars? They repair cars. You are old. Are you? Oh, we don't need to add any helping verbs. We can use the to be verb and just move it to the start of the sentence. So yeah, I'm gonna leave all these links for you so you can do them yourselves. And remember, there are explanations and there are examples. So if you feel lost somewhere, you can ask the program for help, ask the website for help.